If I could meet Jelly Roll, I would say, "Hello there, Mr. Jelly Roll. My name is Sam Evans Shridder, and my late husband died a pastor and a felon. Can I have a few minutes of your time?" And then I would tell him the story about how my late husband got in a drunk driving accident on September 30th, 2017. He didn't come home, he didn't come home, he didn't come home. And finally, at 1:30 in the morning, I got a phone call. "Miss Evans, this is Sergeant Jeremy Reid with the New Ulm Police Department. There's been an accident. Your husband's alive, he's been taken to the hospital. When he's released, he will be arrested for the felony charge of fleeing police." 6 hours later, I got a second phone call. "Miss Evans, this is the hospital calling. We found something on the CAT scan. You need to come in right away." And punchline is that it was stage 4 cancer. They found cancer through his drunk driving accident. And while the entire world was screaming, "The sky is falling, the sky is falling, cancer, cancer, cancer," I was like, hold up a minute, folks. My husband just lied to me. He hid his relapse from me. He got in a drunk driving accident. I am not there with you yet. When I walked into the hospital, my husband didn't know about the phone call I'd received from the nurse. And he looked at me and he said, "Whatever you decide about our marriage, I won't fight you on it." Because we'd had that conversation. If you relapse again, I'm done. I'm out. And our marriage was really rocky, navigating all of the legal ramifications and the court dates and the cancer and the chemo and the mandatory group therapy sessions. We didn't have time to work on us. We didn't have time to go to counseling. There's never time. 20 months diagnosis to death, and somewhere in the middle there, he said, "Sam, what are the chances that I would marry an author whose best work comes from wounds and who has experience interviewing people and writing their God stories? Sam, I want you to write my story." I didn't want to, because interviewing him meant an intimacy and a closeness that I'd avoided. It was painful. He lied to me. But I did it because he asked. And I wrote his story, The Prodigal Son. And I have 6 hours of audio of his voice telling me about his addictions and how it started and what his struggles were and what it felt like to be in the head of an addict. So I didn't finish it before he died, but I wrote The Prodigal Son, Crackhead to Jesus Freak. He told me at one point during the interview that if he'd ever relapsed back into crack, we would never see him again. Me and the girls would never see him again. He was a pastor who'd experienced Holy Spirit highs, spiritual highs. And he said, "Sam, that first crack hit, the first one, is so euphoric. It is exponentially greater than anything I've ever experienced with God." My grace grew for the addict that day. And that's what we're up against. And Satan's so smart because it's only the first hit that's that good. And every single hit after that is just chasing that very first high. It's written, it's been to an editor, it's in the hands of an acquisition editor, and it's going to a literary agent within the month. Please, Mr. Jelly Roll, sir, I would love for you to write the foreword for this book. Speak to the hearts of people who are addicts, and speak to the hearts of people who might judge addicts without knowing their whole story. Jelly Roll, will you please write the foreword for The Prodigal Son, Crackhead to Jesus Freak?